I feel like
kids.
as adults, you can find people easier with similar struggles. Whereas with kids, people don't talk about their struggles as much because everyone wants to be perfect and to seem perfect.
I feel like that's like all ages. Like when you're making friends, you're either gonna hit it off or you don't.
Back in middle school, high school days and all that, teenage days, it's like, ew, I don't talk to them anymore. And like, they could literally be for no reason at all, but they just be like, ew. You're like,
nah, I've done that. Low-key, I've done that.
Welcome to the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
and I'm Julian, and this is the Alyssa and Julian Podcast. Yeah, you know what I just thought about?
What?
I want to go to Best Buy.
So my intentions for the week.
That's crazy. Y'all hear how she treats me, bro? That's crazy.
You guys hear this episode. We're home. We're back home. Back in good old Connecticut.
I wouldn't call it good, but
hopefully not the cold. Hopefully it's a little warmer. We're getting into better weather. Probably not as good as what Florida had, but you know.
I miss it. I want to go back.
And we haven't even gone yet. I think we said it in the last episode that you've listened to. We are batch recording because we want to make sure we're good for you guys. Like, we have content for you guys. Like I said, this episode, when you're listening, we are back home, but I probably already had it scheduled so that way I wouldn't forget to give you guys this episode, because coming home and after all the shenanigans of, you know, getting back, trying to settle back in, whatever, I don't want to forget. So this one is probably scheduled. It's probably up and ready, you know, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Mondays, like always, which kind of leads into my intentions of the week. My intentions were to like unpack and unwind and kind of settle back into like the groove of things. I do have a day between when we get back and when I go back to work, which I'm like, we haven't even gone on the trip and I'm already like thankful that I did. So at least I'll have that one day to kind of chill and probably start unpacking, probably starting laundry, like all that stuff, just to get back into everything. So.
Are you ready for mine?
Mm-hmm.
You're so like mellow and like slow moving with stuff sometimes and calm. Yeah, this is where we're the exact opposite. I want to come back and jump into Skillshare.
Oh, of course.
I haven't been there in a while. I want to jump back into it.
You haven't been in there in a while.
Because there's some things I want to learn, man. I'm doing good with like my piano stuff. I'm learning my piano stuff. But I feel like I need to like master my skill. Like I know stuff, but I feel like there's a couple skills I need to master. And I'm trying to like, you know, I think this year I want to work on mastering things. Like I want to master how to hold my camera, how to shoot good video. I want to master how to create good thumbnails in Photoshop. I want to master all that. Yeah. So
interesting.
yeah.
And I'm not surprised because normally, like, I think we said this in the last episode too, when Julian comes back from a vacation or like being away, it doesn't really have to be a vacay. It could literally be like a night away. He'll come home ready to like jump into something, whether it's that, whether it's the video he recorded, whether it's, I don't know, a video he has to get out.
Get motivated.
I don't know. He comes home and he's like, I need to do this. Like, I have to do this right now. So.
And I think that's kind of like a place I've been in recently because I've been really unmotivated. Like as we're recording this, I've been really unmotivated to edit. Like I have 2 videos in the drafts right now that I've been unmotivated to edit. And I don't want to edit them while I'm not motivated because they both deserve a lot of attention because they both could be bangers. One's a short, the other's a regular video. So like, I feel like I need to give them some attention.
I need to start recording something.
Yeah, get Alyssa back on YouTube,
Oh
y'all.
God.
Tell Alyssa to upload again.
Yeah,
Last time she uploaded was Christmas.
Stop exposing me.
It's March, bro.
Stop. Anyway, streaming platform: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music.
I will Google Podcast, but I will say this. I just thought about this. I feel like you can be excused from that because this is like your new like channel. in my opinion. Like,
dude, I've been, oh my God.
Not saying not to follow her on her other one, but like she's been so in love with this podcast.
Like, yeah, don't follow that anymore. Follow this. This is where you actually see some content.
This is where Alyssa actually shows up and like cares about it.
Stop it. Dude, I love this podcast so much. Oh my God. I started I've been editing the podcast now. I have full control of editing. I do thumbnails. I do the Instagram stuff. I make it. I post on 2 out of the 3 that we post stories for. Julian posts on his. I post on ours and the podcast Instagram, which I've definitely said. I'll say it again. Follow our podcast Instagram so I can post on there for podcast related things.
I'm gonna look at you and say this. I just show up, bro. Like literally for the podcast, I just show up and I talk. Like
I love it.
That's it. I don't even know what we're doing today. I have no idea.
You'll find out.
I have didn't even.
I literally planned this, and he'll usually say that before the episode. He was like, "What am I even talking about? Like, what do I have to do?" And I'm like, "This is this." And he'll be like,
"This is on the spot, guys." So like, I didn't even have time to plan what I'm gonna talk about. Actually, most of my stuff is kind of on the spot. Like, at least I'll have while we're setting up to think about it. Today, this one, literally, she's gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be off the dome.
I can't come like that. I have to come prepared. But because literally knowing me, like I'll show up to this and be like, "Oh, what did I want to do? What did I want to talk about today?" Or if I like don't write like mini topics down within the topic, I'll forget, and then at the end I'll be like, "Oh, I wanted to mention this," and I'd be so mad. But you made me forget. Instagram, yeah. So then I started kind of sort of, you could tell which ones are mine and which ones are Julian's because mine are really bad. I started making like shorts on YouTube from the podcast because I just make it like within the app, if that makes sense. Like if you know what I'm talking about, you could like do like the remix thing and it like creates
only with your own videos, by the way.
Yeah. Guys. So it creates a shorter from the video that you had. So I've made a couple from the podcast ones. Usually I try to have Julian make some because like from the computer, like you see both of us, like it looks better. On the phone, you literally just have to look at one or the other. So I try to do where like one of us is really talking. That way, like when the other one's talking, you're just like not looking at them. But then I'll try to have Julian make some because then I can post it on YouTube, and then I also try to post it on our Instagram, which is also why I was saying follow our podcast Instagram. It's Alyssa and Julian Podcast. I'll let it slide. He was mocking me for not watching. So anyways, yeah, I'm really excited. I've gone like full force into this thing. Oh, I'm going to have to go through. I think I have a couple. I just never know which one I want to do, but I have to go through and get more podcast ideas.
We could always brainstorm on the plane too. Like, because we'll probably have Wi-Fi. So like while we're on the Wi-Fi, actually, I think you have to pay for it. Do you have to pay for Wi-Fi?
I have no idea.
What? I was gonna say on Delta, but I didn't know if that was bad information to give out. Like, should we be saying who?
Flown Delta. So
I feel like I had to pay for it.
Guess we'll find out.
I feel like I did. I don't remember because I flew Delta in the summer. I don't remember.
You probably do. Anyways, the topic for today is friendships.
Oh, hi guys.
Making friendships between teens versus adults.
Oh.
Right.
Are you ready for this?
I've seen a lot of people do this one, so I've been really excited.
I got some tea for you. It's not really tea. It's harder to make friends as a kid than it is as an adult.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite.
Kids are more judgmental.
I feel like it's the opposite. I would say it's harder to make friends as adults than it is as teens.
I feel like
kids.
As adults, you can find people easier with similar struggles, whereas with kids, people don't talk about their struggles as much because everyone wants to be perfect and to seem perfect. At least for me, this is my experience. I had a hard time. I didn't have friends back in I have more friends now than I ever had in my life.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I have more friends now than I've ever had because, back then kids were so superficial and, I was broke, whereas the kids I was around weren't really that broke. And, it was a mess. So the friends I have now are, people who are in, basically in the trenches with me, trying to grind on something, work on something. And we kind of relate over things like that. And, if I have other friends they understand where I'm at and I understand where they're at. But I feel like as kids, people aren't like that.
See, I had some for both. So I had, it was easier as teens because you have a lot of friends like during school. You basically,
school's different.
You go through literally, like I went through like kindergarten through 12th grade.
See, but you never
some
moved.
Of the same, I didn't.
You
I
never
went
moved.
through
That's why
the
it's
same
different.
town. I could see. That's why I see where you're coming from. After you said it, I was like, I didn't think of that. I went through school in the same town, kindergarten through 12th grade. Like I didn't go to preschool, so I went kindergarten through senior year. Obviously, like you said, people move, so there were new people throughout different like age groups. So it was like, oh, someone new, but I feel like a lot of them adapted really well. So going through school, majority of the people I went to school with were people literally my whole life.
I went to 2 different elementary schools. I went to 1 middle school, but then I went to 3 different high schools.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
Julian was always the new kid.
yeah, I was literally always the new kid. I was used to it.
But what I'm saying you can relate to at your last school, like the last high school. Adapted really well and
Yeah,
got a lot of
definitely.
friends. Like
Yeah. Well, that's why, like I said now. But I will say, even in my my middle school that I was in for a long time, kids are judgmental, man. Like,
I mean, middle school is that like I don't know what it is. It's that group.
yeah,
That
it's
age
hard.
group is like
I didn't
it's
have
awful.
a lot of friends in middle school. Like, I had a few, but like I didn't have a lot of friends. Like, I wasn't considered popular, but I also wasn't a nerd. I just wasn't.
You're just there. No,
I was right. No, seriously, I was just there. Like, it was, and then even in high school, man, like I said, until I got to that last one, I really didn't have a lot of friends. Like, I had a friend group in the beginning, but I kind of fell off with them because I was in and out of the school due to financial reasons. So like, it was a little like.
See, I can comment on that because I could say people are crazy. Like, obviously you don't know exactly like what's going on in someone's life. Like, you don't know if it's home, if it's just them, if it's people. But when I was in my middle school was 7th and 8th grade. I know a lot of schools are different age groups. I know some are 6 through 8,
Yeah,
some
mine
are
was K
5
through
through 8. Yeah, like people are crazy. Mine was 7th and 8th grade, and I know there was a day they had announced something that I was in 7th grade and an 8th grader had committed suicide. That's young. That's so young. You're only like 12, 13 years old.
That's hard.
And there was an 8th grader that had committed suicide.
That's hard.
Trigger warning. I'm sorry. I should have given a trigger warning. But yeah, but like that's just young. But like at that point, like you don't know if it was school, home, like what's going on. But it's crazy to think about.
I mean, I think as an adult, the reason why I
Like
say
that's middle school. I'm telling you, it's like the group. I don't know what it is. You get to middle school and all of a sudden, like you turn harsh.
yeah, well, that's it. Kids are harsh. They're learning about themselves while learning about others. And then it's also an age where you think like you're becoming a teenager. So you think you're the only person in the world who matters. And, finding out that that's not true is one of the most like enlightening things ever. And I promise you, when you get to that point, like life is going to be so much easier. And when like the people who are around you get to that point, life is going to be so much easier. But that's why I'd rather deal with adults, I think, is because like we're all at that point where we're like, yo, you got crap going on. I got crap going on. I ain't talked to you in a month. We're still the same friend we were when I talked to you last month. And, today when I hit you up back in middle school, high school days and all that, teenage days, it's like, ew, I don't talk to them anymore. And like, it could literally be for no reason at all, but they just be like, ew. You're like,
No, I've done that. Low key, I've done that. I've had
what
it.
a jerk.
I've definitely done that. And then like, I feel like it depends. Cause like at that age, it's like someone hasn't talked to you for a week and you're like, oh my God, like, do they hate me? Are they mad at me? Blah, blah, blah. Like you stop being friends. Like everyone just kind of drifts, blah, blah, blah. I feel like nowadays as adults, it's different because like of course everyone now has their own lives like outside of school, outside of
I got
college,
a kid, man.
like work, like yeah, people are getting married, people are moving, people are having kids, like all this stuff, like life is growing in all different directions. But it's at the point where it's like you can not talk to someone for like a month, and next thing you know, like you're talking to them again, like
you spoke
talked
yesterday.
to them yesterday. Yeah.
That's how I am. Like if I'm friends with you, like I expect that understanding most times, and like if we don't have the understanding, there's a good chance I'm probably not friends with you. You know what I mean? No, because like you can't.
That's just how it has to be.
I can't handle being friends with you, and you can't handle being friends with me at that point. Like if you can't handle my schedule, then I can't handle you, and you can't handle me. You know what I mean?
Oh.
No, seriously, like I don't want to be rude, but like at the same time, it's like people will hit me up and be like, "Oh, you're not replying," and like at that point, like if I ever get a response like that, like chances are I'm not replying anymore. Like I'm like, because I'm the type, like if random people hit me up, I'll reply. Like I'm not like that, bro. Like random people could DM me and all that, but they got to just respect the fact that, yo, he's not going to reply in 5 seconds, and I'm not going to keep a conversation going every 5 seconds. I'm not a kid. I can't. My life doesn't work that way. You know what I mean?
I feel like I've gotten, like I used to be a type to be like quick responding. Like I actually used to hate how quick I would respond. But
same.
I was just like, I'm not going to sit there and like delay it like on purpose, because like me being me, like I'll forget at that point.
Yeah.
So then I respond whatever, but I feel like I've gotten really bad and I've started to slow just because like I'm like so much busier now, like with everything going on, like work, like 9 to 5 job, and then coming home and like YouTube stuff, and then now we have a kid, like
but it's okay.
There's so much going on that I feel like that's what I was gonna say, like I feel like I've gotten worse, but I'm like it's all right.
There's nothing wrong with that. like there's nothing.
It's fine.
In fact, I would argue that that's healthier.
Honestly, probably.
It's healthier to be off your phone more. Like, listen, if I could just stop using my phone, I probably would. But, you know, you're not home most of the time. So that's how we communicate.
Right.
I work on social media, so I have to like be on social media, talking to people, talking to, subscribers, talking to friends and stuff. Like that's how we communicate. But like, I'm getting to the point where like my phone isn't as important as it used to be. And I'm loving the point I'm getting to with it, because I literally will have some moments where I just be like, yo, I haven't seen my phone in a few hours. Like, where is it?
I'll literally be looking like, where did I put it? Like, where did my phone go?
I love those days. Those are like some of my favorite days, man, where I'm just like, yo, where's my phone at? Like, where's it at? Well, I haven't seen it in a while. Yo, I love that. That makes me so happy.
Those, I don't know, because I feel like me being me, I don't know where I put it down. I could have left it in the store for all I know, and I'm not realizing till now. And yeah. Well, so if I can't find my phone, I'm probably freaking out, because like I'll literally be like, where was the last time I had it? Like, well, where did I actually put it down? My luck, it'd be a day where like I wouldn't leave the house, and I'm like, oh my God, did I leave it somewhere? And I'm like, I literally haven't left.
So not to flex, not at all to flex, but my phone is my car key. So like technically I can't go anywhere without it anyway. Sure. So like I would know it's home. So I think that's what makes me like be all right. You know what I mean? Like I'm all right with it. Like
you have a fair point then.
It's in here somewhere. I just don't know where, and like it's fine. Like literally she'd be yelling at me because like I'll be sitting around the house and my phone will just be dead.
Right?
And I'm like,
he'll be home and he'll be like, yeah, my phone's at 5%. And I'm like, you literally could have walked 10 feet into the bedroom, gotten a charger, even left your phone in there charging, or brought it out here to the couch. Like, how are you sitting here with the dead? Especially because he's always like, I work from my phone. How are you working from your phone if it's dead? Well, that makes no sense.
Because a lot of the apps I use,
someone understand. Someone help me understand.
You realize it's gotten worse since when? When did it get worse?
When he got the iPad.
Exactly, because most of the stuff I need is on there now, so it doesn't even matter. It's like, all right.
At that point, I could understand that he'll lose his phone, because even if I like text him or whatever, he'll get it on the
iPad or the laptop.
So it's fine. But if you're strictly on your phone and sitting home and it's dead, because even then you're chilling on the iPad, so go plug your phone in. You have other resources literally in your lap that you could use. Nope, I'm gonna say you're my dead phone. Like, what? Makes no sense. Literally makes no sense.
Because it's not that important, and a lot of times, especially when I'm editing video, it's not worth breaking my flow. when you break your editing
guess.
flow, like
I
that's
mean, at
hard.
that point, but like, I don't know. Before you like start doing other stuff, be like, okay, I gotta go plug my phone in, and then I'll come back and do this. I'll come back and edit. I'll come back and make this short. I'll come back and blah blah blah.
Listen. All right, so now you know. If you ever message me and I don't message back for a day, don't be in your feelings. My phone's dead somewhere. Like, don't even trip.
Somewhere.
It's somewhere dead, bro. Don't even trip. And
Boy.
I've had people being like, "Oh, am I bothering you? You're not responding. Am I bothering you?"
I'm like, no, sorry, I'm really not paying attention at this point. Like, when I start answering and it's like consistent, then I'm actually on my phone. And then once I start to like trickle and then like all of a sudden like disappear, like I got busy. I got busy or I fell asleep.
And that's the thing. I don't think people realize, like, when you ask that question, you can never bother me. I don't want to say never, because it's possible you could bother me, but like, it's very hard for you to bother me on my phone when I could just put it down and turn it off. You know what I mean?
Delete, like never answer.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard for you to bother me and invade my comfort zone on something that I control.
Yeah, if you're face to face, it's a little different. But
but that's something I control.
Media, over the phone, that's
it's
I can
really,
be like,
it's almost impossible to bother me on something like
out of
that.
sight, out of mind. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because like if I see you and I'm like, yo, like, I don't even want to sound like a jerk, but there's certain approaches, like, people, you guys know what I mean. There's certain approaches that are like, oh, that's not okay. But guess what? Delete it, ignore it, whatever you're gonna do, and just move on. Like,
True.
You know, but like, for someone who's like reaching out, just has questions, wants to talk about something, like, listen, you're not bothering me. I'm slow. My bad. But like, it's because I'm busy. I feel like I keep saying that. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm really important, because it's not even that I'm important. I just keep myself busy because my grandmother always says an idle mind will like get you in trouble. So like, you don't want to have an idle mind. You want to stay busy, you know?
Fair.
So that's why I keep myself in something, doing something, working on something, learning something. There's very few times I'm just sitting around, even with the baby. Like, when he's napping, that's when I'm getting some of my work done. And when he's awake, I'm trying to do stuff with him and drain his energy out a little bit, you know?
So he could actually sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
So besides like school and classes for teens, I kind of had like sports. I feel like you make a lot of friends on sports teams, which could be easy because like obviously you guys have that in common.
Dude, you just reminded me of something I wanted to do here. Crap. I forgot about it. Well, when we moved back, I wanted to join an intramural team or like an adult like league.
I mean, depending on what sport, you probably still could. There's intramural things like all throughout the year because of all the different sports.
Yeah, I thought about doing a basketball league just for the cardio.
You could probably still look into it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, so with sports as teens, I feel like it's easy because like obviously you guys have that in common. It's probably like one of the majority of the things you're talking about. You're like practicing in general, like practicing plays, like depending on the sport. There's a lot going on, and I know for sports after school, they happen literally every day. I know my brother used to play sports after school, and he played baseball, and he either had practice, and if it wasn't practice, like it was a game. So like literally every day he had something going on. So like you see these people literally every day, like all the time. So I feel like you build good friendships through sports. Like you're not friends with everyone on the team, but you make really good friends.
Yeah, you do. I have friends that like, well, I shouldn't call them friends anymore, but like, you know, we play sports together. Well, just because like we don't talk enough to be friends. Like once a month is okay, but like if I haven't talked to you in years, that's like, all right, we're not really friends.
Like,
you know what I mean?
We were friends.
We were friends back on the team,
You might
but
be
like
friendly now.
it's hard to say though, because I feel like we also grew up in different areas too.
We did.
Where
We
like,
definitely did.
You know, the kids are different. And like, I'm gonna tell you right now, in my area, if you weren't good at the sport, like if you weren't one of the top players, like nobody cared who you were.
Oh,
you know,
that's so sad.
That's how my area was.
That's so sad.
You know what I mean? And like, I've never been like the top performer on any sports team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you just made it all depressing. I didn't mean to make it sound depressing, but
That
like,
just sounded so sad.
it's just the truth. Like, if you're not the top performer, you're not somebody who's constantly like, you know, going ham and doing good, like nobody really cares. But like, I also started sports late because like my mom wasn't a big sports person, but like I saw other kids doing it in school, and I was like, yo, I kind of want to try this. So like that's what prompted me to start baseball, start football, start basketball. And I didn't start till really late. So I was always like just, the best one I was at was football. Like I was good at football, but like every other one, it was like, all right, I'm all right. But like I'm not like one of these like top guys that like everyone's like, yo, blah 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 is up at bat, or blah 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 is up, got the ball up the court, coming up court with it. Like nobody cared, you know what I mean? Like in high school, I didn't even have a huddle account.
A what?
A huddle is like where you put your sports highlights and stuff.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. I didn't even have a huddle account in high school. Cause like no one talked to me about it,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is. But that's just the way it is and where I'm grew. I'm not sure if people can relate to that, but and then you gravitate to the other kids that are like you who, they contribute but not like on that high level where everyone's like, oh my goodness, we got to have him here. You know what I mean? So like then you hang out with those guys and you become cool with those guys, but you don't get better as easy as the other kids because, you're not pushing each other because like no one's really paying attention to you. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that's how you stay mediocre,
Yeah.
And I wasn't the type of kid back then that would be like, oh, let me throw myself in there so I could become good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I guess part of it is on me. So like I don't want to blame anybody else because part of it is on me for not trying to like throw myself in those circles. But like it's hard because I don't know how to explain it in words. Those circles weren't the circles I wanted to be a part of. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So like it didn't matter how good you were at the sport. I didn't want to be in those circles.
Right.
I
don't know. That's how it is. I feel like that's like another like there's kind of like cliques or posses or groups, however you want to do it throughout. Like I feel like from almost middle school on mostly. Yeah. Because middle school is kind of where like you start sports. I didn't really have sports like in younger grades that were like crazy like that. Like middle school is when there's like basketball was really big. Mm-hmm. Like baseball was starting to get big, and then when you got to high school, like you either continued on basketball, you continued baseball, like softball, same thing. Football. You start going into football.
Your school is big into football.
Our high school is really big into football.
I played
really big into baseball. Basketball was kind of
some big boys,
kind of up there. But yeah, our school is, I feel like mainly was into football. So like they have like the groups, but then like the people on the teams like split into like different groups of friends. So it's like you go into like one group, you have like all the people from the team, and you have these that you see all the time. You have this
the cheerleaders
that you like hang out with in classes. You have the cheerleaders. We had cheerleaders and a dance team that performed at games. Mm-hmm. So you had two different things. You had those two, which I feel like
we had that too, actually.
I feel like most do.
I think we did have that. I don't remember.
And they both perform during half for baseball, or not baseball, for basketball and football.
I know we had the dance team performing during basketball.
We had cheerleading at basketball too.
We had cheerleading, but I don't think they performed at half.
Ours did.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just say I basically feel like, and don't get me wrong, adults could be cliquey, but I feel like adults are so over the whole like, oh, this one's talking to that one, and that stage, and like
no one cares.
They're over the drama. Yeah, once you get to a certain age, you don't really care about the drama anymore. And that's what makes life so much easier.
Either that or like you're just hearing it and you're talking about it and you're just like, really? Like that's what's going on.
That's what you're focused on right now? Like, come on. Like, I didn't come here for this.
See, I love being an adult and like hearing about drama, hearing about tea, but it's literally because you're at the point where you're like, dude, like grow up.
Yeah.
Like at that point, like you're hearing it and you're like, really? Like that's how you're acting about this? Like this is so stupid. Like that's the tea I live for. Anyways. Did you ever go to summer camps? I had summer camps as a list.
I actually was a summer camp counselor at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually kind of wanted to be one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, not really.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't fun. Like,
I feel like it depends on like the kids you have.
Summer camp is fun, but they're very cliquey as well. And like we became counselors after growing up in the camp.
Oh.
So like it was even like worse.
Dang, he put people through being a kid, and then he had to be that same person for new kids, wondering why they're so bad. But he was one of those bad kids. I
wasn't a bad kid.
Full circle, my friend.
I wasn't a bad kid. You know,
probably weren't, but that was the whole. There was like a moral of that story.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But now those are some friends those are people I shouldn't say, I wouldn't call them friends, but those are people I still talk to today. I've like,
really?
Yeah, every now and again. One of them worked at Best Buy. Oh my goodness, full circle.
Oh my
One of them worked at Best Buy for a little bit.
Here we go.
Yes, we got to go back to Best Buy, dude.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. We got to go to Best Buy.
Anyways, did I do like summer camps? I don't know if I really went to summer camps. One of the things my mom tried to put me in, I hated it. I hated getting up every morning to go to it. I did not. It was not my thing.
Yeah, what was it? Tell them.
Bible camp. Oh my God. I hated getting up in the morning to go to that.
What did you do at Bible camp?
Okay, so.
Because you don't remember anything.
I don't. Well, if you know me, that's not saying much. But anyways, you go in the morning, you sit with like your age group thing. They would wait for everyone to get there. They would start off with like a song and some prayer stuff, and then you'd go off with like the groups based off of age. So you went off in groups, whatever you did, I don't know, some type of Bible stuff. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't remember. But then you had a break and you played games. You went outside, played a game, blah, 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 came over for like a little snack time thing. Probably did more prayer stuff. I don't remember. And then you got picked up. Like it was hours. I don't remember how long it was, but it had to be from like 9 to 12 or something like that. Like,
it's not bad.
Right. But for me, it felt like freaking forever. Like I did not want to be up at like 8 a.m. in the summer trying to get ready, go to this Bible camp, come home. And then like, by then I wanted to take a nap. So we did that for a couple of years because it was only in like the next town over. Actually, no, it was still in my town. It was like on the border of like the next town. So I don't really know if it was in my town or the next town, but it was on the building was on the line. So yeah, oh my God, I hated that.
I actually didn't mind my summer camp. I enjoyed my summer camp because
really
it was also like ran by my cousin.
Oh,
so like my cousin ran it, and like my other cousin, like who's my age, was in it with me. So like we went from doing summer camp together to like walking around and like playing basketball like after camp, and like walking around the city, playing basketball in our city a little bit.
That's probably fun. That's like a different type.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's different.
I don't think I did any other like summer.
Have you ever walked around like the town you grew up in? Like, have you ever just like went with like, you know, just like walked around and going from park to park and like?
I lived at the park growing up. Like I lived walking distance. So the other parks were on the other side of town. So like it would have taken me literally hours to walk there. But the one on our side, we lived at that park because we also got like summer passes and they had a pool. So we would use the summer passes. We'd be swimming. We'd be hanging out with friends because my brother had friends that lived like literally like right by the park. So we'd be at their house. We'd be at the park. We'd be swimming. Like we would literally be there from like 10, 11 in the morning till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Like the park is closed, but because his friends live so close, we would just go to their house and then like go back to the park like after hours almost and be hanging out playing there. So like we were there all day, every day during the summer. It was crazy.
So that was my mom's rule. She was like, all right, you have to like, you could walk around and do whatever, but you have to be home before the street lights come on. That was my mom's rule. Yeah. So like in the summertime, you know, that's like 9, 10 o'clock. And like one night, my older cousin was like, yo, like that was my other cousin's brother, his older brother. He was like, yo, just tell your moms you with me, like you're good. She was like, I came home a little late. She was like, tell him I'll beat him and you. You know how my mom, she's like, tell him I'll beat him and you next time he brings you on this late. So yeah.
He was like, got it. Noted.
You never brought me home late again, bro.
Yeah,
My
no,
moms
I don't
didn't
know.
play that, bro.
Summer was fun because of that, but then like at the same time, for part of it, like I didn't get my license until I was out of school. Like I didn't get my license until I was 18 or 17, something like that. Like I didn't get my license at 16 like everyone like strives to do.
Yeah, I was that guy.
Literally scared at first. I was so scared to drive.
I was that guy that drove everyone around.
Yeah, see,
I gave people rides home from school.
I had people like that. They probably hated me. They probably still hate me. If you end
Yes.
up hearing this, hi, I know you hate me. It's fine. But I don't know. Like I lived close to like stuff on my side. Like I could walk there. I probably could have walked to school if I really, 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 really had to. Did I want to? Absolutely not. So I never did. But I lived super close. Like going to football games like every Friday. Like it took a while to get dropped off because it was super busy. Like it got like backed up with traffic. But like I live super close to the high school, so it's not like I have to go across town to get there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You hang out with like different people at the games too, like meeting up with everyone because literally everyone goes. But like my school was like super crazy where like people ended up getting kicked out or taken out. Like some people taken out. I'm telling you, our school was crazy.
They were serious about them football
They had
games.
people
bro.
like they had. So
You
in
were
high
definitely
school,
at the game I played in.
think about it.
Like,
In
that's
high
actually
school,
crazy.
I might have been. What year was it?
It was in 2012. You were a junior, so you were definitely there.
I probably was. If it was home, I was literally at every home game.
It was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, so I was freshman,
Is that right?
junior, somewhere. No, I was sophomore.
No, then it was 2012, 2013. Sorry. Because I was a sophomore. So you were a junior.
I was.
So you were definitely there.
I probably was. I hung out with different people depending like who was there, but like our school ended up being so crazy that like, so think about it. You are in high school, you're underage, first of all, drinking wise. We had people like taken out on like stretchers and all this stuff that had to go to hospitals because they like drank too much and like all this stuff. Like they got wild, like wild.
That's crazy, bro.
It's insane. I just routed you all out for listening. You're welcome. Probably not listening, but it was insane.
It's years ago. But this is what I'm saying. Like, then you have to choose as a kid, like, which circle you want to be in. Do you want to be in that circle? Do you want to go to these games even? Do you care about sports? And if you don't care about sports, you're looked at like a crazy person because how could you not care about sports in high school? And it's like...
But see, I was the one at every football game, literally not paying attention to the game. I don't think I really watched a lot of the game. I don't understand football at all. Like, I don't get football. I don't understand football. I don't know football. But I'd be at the game. Everyone ask me what's going on. Couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I could tell you when we or the other team got a touchdown. That's about it. Literally about it. I'd be walking around talking to people, hanging out, chilling. Yeah.
And then if you go back to last episode, she calls herself an introvert, but that's a whole different story.
I am an introvert. Anyways.
You just said you were walking around talking to people.
Well, yeah, like people I know. Duh. If people I know I'm comfortable with. I'm not going around talking to some randos. Like, anyways, so as adults, I feel like it's harder because you're not really like into stuff like that. You're kind of finding people throughout.
Hold on, I don't mean to cut you off. That's kind of false. Most of my friends and I go to sports events together.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, but you're going to like professional stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to like your school stuff. Like,
Yeah, some of us do.
What?
Yeah, like especially when you have kids, like you go to your kids.
Okay, well, okay, so but that's what I'm getting at. You're making friends for something like you're going to, like not something like you're in. Like you're not in school anymore going to this stuff. You're making friends with other adults, like other parents, other like stuff like that.
But that's easier because I feel like other parents are more inviting.
I don't know. I just, maybe that's my introverted side coming out. I feel like adults make friends with parents that they've met like at school events, at like something else their kid has been at.
Yeah.
I feel like adults make friends like at work with other coworkers, like stuff like that. So you have to, like, you're at places meeting people, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say like you're picking or choosing, but like there's a lot of people you'll be like, yeah, I don't really like that, or I don't really like how they do that. I don't want my kid with them. Like,
Yeah.
you're at work and you're like, yo, I don't really like this person.
I mean, that's
but,
natural,
like,
though.
I'll talk to this person. Like,
You're not going to vibe with everybody.
right. But I feel like, I don't know, it's different as an adult. Like, it's a different scenario. It's a different vibe. I feel like making friends as adults, like, you're having to find people like you have things in common with.
I feel like most places where you go somewhere with other adults, you have things in common with. I feel like that's the difference. Actually, that's a perfect word. That's a perfect. No, listen, hear me out. Hear me out, though. If you work with a person you become friends with, what's one thing you have in common? The job. You probably both don't like it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's weird because, like, I work in a thing where, like, if I talk to people, like, within the place I work, everyone's working, like, doing something different. Like, they're not doing what I'm doing type of thing. Like,
Well, you
there's
don't work for the
different
same
departments,
company,
but, like, it'd be company that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which you're probably right, but
you get what I'm saying? No. So, like, whereas, like, you know, as kids, you're all forced to go to this school. I mean, yeah, you all don't like the school, but, like, you all come from different backgrounds, and there's a lot of other people there that you have to work with and talk to all day. I don't know. It might honestly be a lot more close and similar than we're giving it credit for. But I feel like it's easier as adults to make friends. Personally, I feel like adults are more open-minded.
I don't know.
I definitely have a more open mind as an adult.
I feel like the only thing...
That's crazy. So you're more closed-minded as an adult? Would you say that?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Is that bad? I honestly think it was easier making friends as a child, like not a child, a kid, teen, whatever, than it is as adults. The only thing I feel like that's the same for both is you're kind of going to make friends with people that are like trusting, like that aren't like, because I feel like in school.
But that's you.
What do you mean?
Like, not everyone is going to do that, though. Not everyone's going to make friends with a trusting person.
They better.
They don't know that, but they don't know.
I feel like once you see like something, especially, I don't know, I feel like it works for both because as a kid, you're like going through school, everyone starts to like gossip, spread rumors,
Right.
blah, blah. Now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I don't like this person anymore. I'm not going to associate with them. But I
Right.
feel like even as an adult, like if people, I don't want to say like gossiping because like people are just talking as adults. They're not really like into the whole gossip thing that we were just talking about. Like, I don't know. As for me, like, I don't know. Once people start talking about stuff and like some stuff just gets kind of out of hand, I'm like, yeah, no, gotta go. And then I just like cut people off. I feel like I just cut people off as adults. It's not like you talk and you're like, oh, I'm gonna stop talking to you, mama. We're not friends anymore. That's more of like a kid thing. Well, like adults, it's literally just like.
So you feel like, so I think, all right, so it's easier to make friends as adults, but it's easier to lose friends as an adult as well.
I feel like definitely because you also don't see them as much as adults half the time. In school, you saw them more. Adults, like we said, life goes in different ways for everyone, so you don't see them as much. So it's easier to just like.
I'll agree with that. I think it's easier to make friends as an adult, but it is definitely easier to lose friends as an adult. But I think it's also because of your experiences all through your life that you have now that you know, like, okay, this isn't someone I want in my life.
Fair point.
I feel like it's been easier for me to be pickier about the type of people I want around me because of my life experiences and the things I've gone through all throughout my life now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Oh shoot, this was a deep discussion. I like this.
I figured it would be because I figured this is a topic.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I honestly, sorry, I wasn't expecting us to be on different perspectives. I don't know why. I didn't know if we would agree or disagree. I didn't expect us to go opposite, but that's kind of interesting.
I personally prefer it this way. I would not, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could go back to my high school years and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude,
I don't wish that, but I still think it's easier. It was easier then to be making friends.
Well, also, I feel like it depends on the position you put yourself in. I feel like you're going to find it easier to make friends when he starts doing stuff. Like now he's a baby. He's with me most of the time. But when he starts doing stuff, you're going to have like a lot of adult friends. You're going to be talking to so-and-so's mom and so-and-so's mom is doing this for all the moms in the area. Right. So you're going to go to do that with
like in a little group chat and a little mom date and a little dad time. Dad are hanging out at games talking about
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Blah, blah, blah. Boyfriend or husband is going. That don't mean you bringing me.
No, I'm saying, you know how moms have a lot of like
that would
mom
be
nights.
great.
And
Yeah,
they go
yeah.
to dinner at the games. You have all the dads talking about the game while the moms are not paying
Listen.
attention. They're sitting over here talking about so-and-so's nails.
Listen, that's the thing. That was a meme on the internet for a while. Like women be doing that mess where they be like, "Oh shoot, so and so's coming over. She's bringing her boyfriend, so you guys can hang out." Like, no, I don't know him. I don't know him.
Invite people over. I'd have to extrovert for that. That's not happening.
But you get what I'm saying?
At that point, it'd be the opposite. I'd be the one like invited.
I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna
I'd
lie.
be the one inviting.
I did.
Actually, that would be you.
I did. I was about to say
That
I
would be
did that to
you.
Alyssa one time where I told her she should hang out with one of my friends' girlfriends. But that's because I feel like they're a lot alike, and I feel like they'd be really good friends. It's not just because.
I don't even remember who you were talking about. So we'll have to discuss
Yeah,
afterwards.
I feel like they would actually have a really good time together, and I feel like she would have been a really good friend for her.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I mean, maybe. I don't know who you're talking about, so maybe.
well, that
I
never
feel like-
happened because we're all busy adults. But
Literally.
like, I thought it would just be a cool idea.
I feel like this would also be, like I said, Julian, because he'll be the type to be like, oh, so I invited these people over. Help me host type of situation. Like
Yeah,
he
but
would be the
that's
one
different.
to invite. Okay, so no, where you're coming out, where you're like, oh, don't say Bubba's coming over so you can hang out with him. He would be the one to say that.
No,
Yes, you would.
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is you and your friend are going out, but you're sending him over to hang out with me.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
weird.
because they're going. You're going and doing your own
I
thing,
thought
so
you were
he's got to
saying,
come
like,
hang out with
I
me.
had so-and-so
No,
coming
if they're
over,
coming
you had to
over
hang out
as a
with them.
couple,
I,
that's like a couple
that's
and
what I
couple thing.
was
You're
getting at.
basically
That's
having
what
me
I
one on
thought
one
you
with
meant.
this random dude down. No, like
No, that'd be weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
like,
wouldn't
don't-
do that.
I don't know this
I'm
man, bro.
surprised you even brought that up.
No, because
I
it was just
like,
a
wait,
meme I
what?
thought of
Oh,
on the internet.
yeah,
That's-
we were on two different.
yeah, no.
Anyways,
See, so I wouldn't just do that to you. Just be like,
Okay,
oh,
not
here, hang
that.
out with her.
no, not like that.
It's
but
weird.
I thought you were saying about the whole
People do
inviting
that.
over. Julian would be the one to invite.
Oh,
people
yeah, I invite
over.
people
I would
over.
not be on that. He is piping up in the background if you could hear him.
Yeah, he's got his opinions on this. He's like,
like, "I need
invite friends.
friends."
Yeah, invite friends over. He like, I've been picking up my cousin lately, so he's been hanging out with my cousin. So every time I'm like, yo, you want to see her? He's like, yeah.
It's so weird. I don't know where he started saying yeah, but it sounds like he's saying yeah, and it's so funny. Yeah, that's kind of all I had.
I don't think I have anything to add. I feel like we
I'm trying to
discussed
think.
it. I think
I
my
feel like-
final point is it's easier as adults to make friends.
My
That's
thing
my
was the
final
opposite. I feel like it was easier as teens,
You don't
but I
feel like-
also started. My main thought was like school and stuff like that, where obviously like, I don't know, because I feel like people go through college like obviously making friends, but a lot of people, it depends on the school, because if you go to like a school where you stay at, whatever, people make friends there, but a lot of people that commute or do all this stuff, they make friends, but like I don't know, I don't want to like speak for people, but I feel like you see more like groups and friends and all this stuff for people who stay at the same school.
The only reason why I would say you're right, the only case I would say you're right in is the fact that adults are just pickier with who they
Like,
become friends
you
with.
went to, like, you were a commuter student, like you didn't
I didn't make any friends from
You didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of commuter people also do it because like then they go to school, they go like they live at home, they have like work, they do this, they
That
do
was me.
that. Right. So I feel like if you're at the school all the time, it's easier to make friends. You could just hang out with them
But you're
whenever
not
you
a
guys
teen
don't
anymore.
have.
You're not an adult.
No, but you're not. You're missing my point. My thing is just school. Like it's the same thing. Like you went from a high school to a college you're staying at. So you're at that school, basically like you were at high school, seeing all these people, making all these friends, hanging out with them. You know when to see them, you know when you won't see them, blah, blah, blah. Where as a commuter student, you basically go to school to go to class and like you're going home or you're going to work or blah, blah. So like university almost is, I don't know, like kind of like high school, just obviously you're in a new area. Where like a commuter student, you're probably not commuting too far. So you're still home, but like you're seeing a new group of people, but you're not really like hanging out too much unless you're making friends like outside of school. But it's, I don't know,
did.
it's like a different environment if you think about it.
We had a group where like I hung out with them, but like I was so awkward back then.
And busy.
I was awkward and busy. So like it just, I don't know.
I don't know if any of like what I just squabbled on about made sense, but it like made sense in my head.
It makes sense, but also like I feel like you could replace university with work and it would be the same thing.
I mean, I guess, but not everyone likes everyone at work. Or
No,
like at
not everyone
school,
likes
like
everyone
you're
at
making
school.
friends. Okay, but you're making friends with people you want to make friends with. There's a lot more
At
people.
work, you're doing that too.
Okay, but there's a lot more people in a school than there is at a job.
Depends on what job you're talking about. If I work at an Amazon warehouse, there's a lot of people that
Okay,
work
well,
there.
at that point, you're so busy, you're not talking to everyone. Julian's just really trying to like stick a point that doesn't make sense, but
It does.
it doesn't make sense. Okay, well, I don't agree.
Okay, we agree to disagree.
Anyway,
I just feel like I hear what you're saying with school, but like I just feel like kids were just so brutal, man.
I mean, yeah, but so are adults. Adults are pretty bad too.
I guess I don't
like people, so
I guess I don't hang around those kind of adults.
I'm not
though,
a
so I
people
don't get it.
person.
Yeah, I guess I choose maybe it's just me. I choose the right adults to be around, which is a good thing. But I don't see those kind of adults.
I do.
That's different. You also work a different job than me. Like think about the job you do versus the job I
see
do.
all kinds of people. I see good, bad, ugly, awkward. Like name them, I see them.
I make friends like online for the most part. So like, if it like I vet my friends. That's probably a difference too. I vet my friends pretty well based upon like how they act, things they say, things I hear them say. Like I don't just make friends right away. You know what I mean? Like I do like a vetting process in a way. And then, honestly, we hit it off or we don't hit it off too.
Right.
That's another thing,
I feel like that's like all ages. Like when you're making friends, you're either going to hit it off or you don't. That's kind of like how you either get close or like you're just kind of like, we're acquaintances, but like we're friendly, not really friends.
So we just spent this entire podcast disagreeing. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Like, how do you feel? Like, are you an adult right now and is it easier now to make friends or was it easier as a kid? Are you a kid right now and you're like, dude, I hate this. I can't make friends, or dude, it's so easy for me to make friends. I want to hear about your experiences in the comments. If you're watching or listening on a different app, please come to YouTube, leave us your comments. I'm so curious. I love reading through them and kind of getting your takes on things.
That kind of goes into my question of the week, because my question of the week is, where did you meet your best friend?
Where did I meet my best friend?
I met mine in school.
I met my best friend at the drug screening for our job. We both had to pee in the cup at the same time. That's the story we tell. Not the same exact time, but that's
We're
just
not
how
going
we
to give
tell
any
it.
more context. Just that. Doesn't that sound interesting? That's how we became close. As close as it gets.
We always tell that story. I could call him right now and be like, bro, how did we meet?
That's so funny. Actually, you want to know what's really funny?
What?
The way you met your best friend, I was at the same thing at the same time as his sister.
That's weird. So you and sister pee in the cup at the same time. Me and him pee in the cup
We
at
didn't
the
have to
same
pee in a
time.
cup.
Oh, they just did the swab
They
thing.
did the swab in the mouth thing.
Oh, we had to pee in a cup.
I didn't have to pee in a cup. So our story isn't that weird. You still win. Top tier weird story.
Oh, I gotta have him on here and just tell that story. Hey, how do we meet? Pee in the cup together.
Oh my God. Dude, you should have him on here and just like, it should just be a story time for your friendship. That would be interesting.
That's awkward.
If you know, you know.
That's awkward.
If you know,
That's awkward.
you know.
Yo.
No, we're gonna
because
do
we've
that.
been through a lot. So like that's
We're
awkward.
gonna do that. That would be funny.
That's awkward. He's seen me at some of my worst moments, so that's really awkward.
Oh,
Like, you know how I say I'm
That
an
makes
awkward
good stories.
person and I'm weird?
no, that makes good
I used to be really awkward. I've gotten better. He's seen all my like awkward moments.
That's good. He's gonna tell stories you wouldn't want to tell me.
Probably.
I'm gonna text him myself.
Hey, when can we schedule on the podcast?
So listen, when are you free, buddy? I need to hear these stories.
I actually have someone I want to interview for the podcast too. So you might see some guests soon. Actually, I have a couple people I want to interview.
Oh,
You
we
might
might
see
have
some
guests
guests
soon. That's fun.
Somebody actually asked me if they could be on the podcast.
Really?
Yes.
Love
Somebody
that.
approached me.
Okay. We're gonna talk now because I'm interested.
All right. All right, guys. And on that note, we are out of here, man. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode, but keep grinding, keep chasing your dreams. Remember, nothing worth having because these we out.
Peace.
Peace.